Well, Jim, one more thing before we wrap up. Again, this is a breaking news audio update for YouTube. It'll be in the body of the drive-thru, which will eventually be released when stories stop happening. But according to a front page story on the Wrestling Observer newsletter website, f4wonline.com, Bobby Fish issues invitation to AEW's CM Punk for a fight. Fish commented on the issues between Punk and the Elite on his podcast. Boy, everyone has a podcast. Let's get some quotes here. Get your thoughts, Jim. Let's make this a formal invitation to Phil. I'm down. If that's the direction he wants to go, and I mean, he could pick the time, the place, we can do it in Chicago. I mean, that would be kind of fun, right? It could be boxing. It could be kickboxing. It could be MMA. I mean, we could do this bare-knuckled. Whatever sounds good to Phil. He could pick the weight. He could pick the place. It's like a song. Like I said, whatever he wants to do, but yeah, let's make this official. There's a little more here, but let me stop right there. What do you think of Bobby Fish? The last we heard, he had just left AEW, having issues there, and now all of a sudden he's, again, longtime cohorts with the Friends of Bucks, and one of them himself, the Buckaroos. He is a longtime, one of the older Buckaroos. Remember when the Musketeers got older? But they still had the things on their head. He's one of the older Buckaroos.
Well, I hate to hear this because I like Bobby Fish. I worked with him, briefly at Ring of Honor. He's an older guy. He's older than the rest of this group. I thought he was more mature. He's an excellent talent, as he's trained a lot in kickboxing, MMA, or whatever. I hate to hear that, but he was obviously part of the undisputed elite, and I guess he's done a bunch of pro wrestling chimpanzee shows out in Rancho Cucamonga. So he's on their side, but I mean, I guess it's good to get attention, and he's making a statement that, hey, if I'd have been there, which probably makes them sorry they didn't go to bat for him more. But if I'd have been there, I would have taken care of the situation.
Yeah, if FTR had been there, would have kicked all your asses. So
I was about to say, then if so-and-so had been in, then we got a 12-man, and then we have to do the football field fuckery match. But it's nice of Bobby to say that and take up for his friends, I guess. But obviously it's ridiculous. And a lot of people will go, well, yeah, he probably kicked Punk's ass because Punk lost in the UFC. Again, A, Bobby Fish never fought in the UFC. And B, Punk ain't going to fight anybody for fucking free because he's making 7 figures a year to be the AEW world champion, and he just got hurt accidentally. He's not going to fight anybody for free, so it's a grandstand challenge.
No, I think it's a good idea. I think CM Punk should go fight out-of-work wrestlers who call him out.
But
it's a great idea.
So I was sorry to see that, but I have the article here also. I pulled it up because this is what you never know about people. Like I said, I've always liked Bobby Fish, but he says about the Buckaroos, I love those guys. I love them. They're good people. They got kids. They got wives. They're God-fearing good human beings. So I guess he's on the Jesus train, and that's the connection. But anyway, so Bobby, grandstand challenge there. I don't know that... he says it's not even a challenge. It's an invitation because at the end of the day, like, who am I? I'm nobody. So there you go. We've answered our own question.
My favorite is the quote here at the end of this article. Fish also addressed Ace Steel allegedly having thrown a chair at Nick Jackson and bitten Kenny Omega. The quote, I know Ace, and that's surprising to hear.
Actually, it's not really. And again, I'm gonna go with Ace Steel, either seeing his wife and a fucking innocent dog in a locker room along with his friend and 3 guys, and decided to fucking even things up and just was in the wrong place at the wrong time to get all this blame on him or whatever. But nevertheless, and by the way, Bobby Fish, in another statement, had said that the reason he just left AEW was because, besides the fact that his contract expired, he couldn't even get Tony Khan to sit down and talk to him just to give him permission to do a kickboxing fight, since he wasn't being booked in AEW because everybody else in his goddamn stable is injured. and is having surgery. And so Tony's the boss, and here's Bobby Fish. And he said, since May, I've tried to get Tony Khan to sit down with me no less than 5 times to ask permission to do a kickboxing fight. I could never nail Tony down. But how long does that take? Tony, can I do this kickboxing fight? Or sure. Can we film it? Whatever the fuck. He just ignores people, apparently.
Well, he says it's been happening since May. Maybe Tony was busy with Colt Cabana contract renegotiation.
They got to put more important things first, I know, but still. So that, again, and then they did the angle. I forgot about it. They split up the Undisputed Elite so they could bring Twinkle Toes back, and then Cole's still hurt. O'Reilly had surgery, and they just let Fish's contract expire, never had one goddamn match. Booker of the Year. No wonder it's chaos because the EVPs decide they want to do something and they put it in motion. It all falls apart and everybody's standing there with Pete in hand.
When the suspensions are lifted, we'll see who gets the first match on the Dynamite after that. If it's the Bucks and Omega, they've learned their lesson. They don't want to be last because they're afraid of the falling numbers.
Yeah, do they want to be first right after Big Bang Theory and see that goddamn precipitous drop? We'll see what the fuck happens. What else we got to talk about on this special edition?
I think that may be it for this special edition. We can get back to the regular edition, which we're actually still in the process of recording. It's a 2-day recording. There's so much happening, and so much of it sucks.
We still, and the WWE did 60,000 people at a stadium, and we haven't had time to talk about them yet.
Yeah, they didn't even have a real castle. I'm still pissed off about that. That was what I wanted.
They should have brought the whole Viking boat in. Close it up.
I'm going to close it up. Well, for some people, I'm going to close it up. We will be back on the Drive-Thru and, of course, the Experience, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And, of course, this Drive-Thru episode will be out in the regular podcast feed in the next day or so. But thank you for subscribing to the official Jim Cornette YouTube channel, and tally-ho!